Hello and welcome. I am Conan Librarian with Conan's EDC, Easy Dad Carry, and today I'm going to be doing a long asked about video. It is the stuff I carry specifically for the kids. A couple different categories I carry, and maybe I don't carry all of this all the time, but a couple different categories that are always important that I find can really help save the day. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start with kind of the boring first, but first aid, this isn't necessarily just specifically for the kids. I carry this all the time anyways. First aid, I'm going to say it again here like I do in every one of my videos. Make sure you have a decent first aid kit to handle emergencies, no matter what kind of situation you're going to be into. So this isn't really something I'd necessarily hand the kids. It's got a lot of good stuff in there, and maybe if someone asks, I'll do a breakdown of my actual first aid kit, but that is not necessarily specifically for the kids as much as my peace of mind and to make my day easier. The things I carry for practical reasons. We start with dude wipes. Now, I've showed these off before. Depending on my bag or my setup, might carry a larger pack and get them where they come in packs of 20. They're kind of full size that I really like, but dude wipes have easily become my favorite thing. They say they're flushable. I still don't recommend flushing them, but they're convenient. The ones I have found so far are mint chill. I'd like to find some that are unscented or whatever, but dude wipes are great. They're not greasy, they're not too wet, but they really do a great job. So dude wipes, I can grab one of these out of my pocket, hand it to one of the kiddos, and they can clean themselves up. Alternately, if you don't want to buy something cool, just grab wet naps from KFC or any barbecue or messy place. Just something to clean the kids up, clean their hands, clean their face, and wipe schmutz off. In the same vein is hand sanitizer. I really like this. This was a buck at, I think, Walgreens or CVS. You can see it packs real thin. It's got an ounce of hand sanitizer, but just carrying hand sanitizer in general is great because, well, kids get gross, and I like to be able for them to clean themselves up or whatever we're doing if they have gotten gross from it, just to have something, even whether it's a little bottle or something like this that, like I said, I really like because you can pack it so flat. Hand sanitizer. Hair tie for the kiddo who's got super long hair and it seems to be getting bigger every day. Last few things, this is a mini chapstick. I really like this. I found these, I bought literally almost a bucket of them. Just a tiny little chapstick. It's push up, it's push down. I hesitate to use my finger, so I'll just do this. Let's see if it'll tell me. This is 0.1 ounce of chapstick, but my kids always seem to need chapstick, so I usually carry one for each of them. I'll put their initial on the bottom, but a little bit of chapstick because they always seem to need it. This is, I don't know if you could tell, but this is much loved and used a lot. It's carried with me pretty much everywhere I go. This is a little mini Tide pen. I like these even smaller ones. You can get them a little bit bigger, probably a little closer to, well, these are 1-inch squares here, so this guy comes in right at 3.5 inches. They're usually closer to 5 inches, but just a little mini Tide stick to keep themselves clean. I mean, full disclosure, I use it for myself just as often as I do the kids, but a little Tide stick to help get out anything then and there when we're on the move, so I can make sure it actually comes out later in the wash. And the last two items, this guy, everyone should be pretty familiar with these at this point if you know anything about EDC or camping. A little cup of water, but usually I've always got water with me and the kids like to carry water. A couple capfuls of water. It's this little towelette. And while there we go. You can see it comes out this kind, I forget exactly how big, but you can get these. A pack of 100 is maybe $15. Just a full towelette. This is biodegradable, which I like. Still nice and soft. I take a bunch of these when I go camping because this is good for 1 or 2 full showers. So this thing is pretty good. You can see even scrubbing and putting work in, getting my station all wet, but this thing is still solid and not coming apart. So I really like these compressed towels because they are so tough and so useful, which is good when my kids seem to just be, I don't know, they're made of angles and sharp points and squares for some reason. Whenever I'm dealing with them and I need something to happen, they can tear through steel, it seems like. And the last, I would say, practical thing is one of these guys. Now, more and more these days, companies don't do straws anymore. Or, it's pretty regular that places or restaurants just forget straws. So this is just a collapsible straw. And you can see this thing comes out pretty long. Let's see here. Measure it out, like I said, on these inch squares. About 9 inches here, and you see it has a little soft rubber tip for drinking. You can keep it more collapsed is just fine. Now, quick tip too, if you're out in the wild or you happen to be hiking with this and need be, this also makes a good bellows if you need to blow into a fire, which is nice. I'd recommend take off the rubber. I don't know how actual fire resistant something like this is, but it could be a good bellows as well. This kind I really like. It came in a kit of like 3 or 4 of them, and it came with a little extendable brush, which is really nice. So make sure if you're using these, you are actually cleaning them. Even if you're just using water for them, you don't want bacteria and junk to get trapped in there. And as a bonus, say you are carrying this kit like this, you now actually have a little extending brush, which can be useful for a lot of different things, not just cleaning the straw itself. But I like this because it's really pretty innocuous. It's easy to carry. It came with this little clip, or I can just take this off and it fits pretty much anywhere pretty easily. So yeah, these are all the more practical items that I carry, and any of these I feel good that if the kid says, oh, my face is a mess, or they forgot my straw, or I spilled a thing, whatever it is, that I can grab any of this out of a pack and just hand it to them. So, like I said, kind of boring stuff, but honestly, even just this small stuff helps take care of a lot. Now, I always carry with me a multi-tool and a knife, so, you know, this can be supplemented by a lot of different things. I'm not generally going to hand my kid a knife or a multi-tool without them having already had experience with it or being ones they actually own. My kids at this point are 6 and 8. They have their own tools, they have their own knives, that are used for hiking and camping and certain circumstances. So I'm not just going to open, say, what do I have near me? Well, I was looking through my knives the other day. This is my Kershaw. I think it's the Swerve. This is my hiking fold out, just because it's big, it's chunky, it has great grip. I'm usually not carrying this, but just as an example, if my kid says, I need this thing cut open, I'm not just going to say, all right, here you go, kid. Here's this. You want to, just like anything you handle yourself, anything you hand a child, you want them to be able to use effectively. And it may sound silly, but you don't want your kid taking a chomp of chapstick. You don't want a kid playing with one of these and accidentally poking themselves in the throat or something like that. You don't want them using too much Tide stick and maybe getting too much on their skin. I've said it before, but tools are only as useful as the knowledge you have on how to use them. So even though this stuff is pretty simple, make sure any kid you're going to hand something to has a full understanding of how to use it the right way. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be supervised, but it also means that, you know, make sure the kid's going to use it right, they're not going to waste it, and they're not going to inadvertently hurt themselves for some reason. Last one, I meant to throw this in here, a battery pack. This may not specifically be for the kid themselves. However, I know I am not the only parent who keeps their kiddos busy with YouTube or games or something. If you're just somewhere and you just need to hand something to your kid to keep them busy, or they're getting a shot and they need to be distracted. So obviously a phone, but a battery pack. This is one of my favorite, the INU. I just really like this battery pack because it's got 2 ports. This thing has served me super well. But even if it's just one of those little mini USB drives, whatever you've got, carry backup battery, because it's pretty easy to not realize your kid has killed your battery watching some YouTube video and you suddenly have to make a call. So those are the practical things. Let's look at the fun stuff. All right. and the fun stuff. Now, like I said, I might not carry all of this with me. As a matter of fact, I usually don't have all of this with me, but depending on what kind of day I'm having, what kind of adventures we might be going on, or what pack I might be carrying, I might have all this stuff with me. Just kind of sort it out. To start up, these two items, if you looked at my workday keychain loadout, these go with me to work every day, but they also come right off my keys when I get home from work, or if I'm not going that day, and go on my regular loadout because, well, as silly as this sounds, and I believe it's the honest reason that most EDCers won't say out loud, flashlights are fun, flashlights are cool, and a neat gizmo is a neat gizmo. This is my Streamlight Pocket Mate. I was incorrect on the lumens in the last video. It goes up to, I think, 325, and low mode is closer to like 200 lumens, I think. But a flashlight, because also if you're running around in the dark, the kids might want a flashlight, or they drop something somewhere. A flashlight is super practical and useful. Second thing is a pen, because my kids always want to draw, they want to take notes, they want to do stuff, or we play games. So this has a lot of just practical use. So I've talked about Right in the Rain stuff before. This one I actually like, I will say, more than the regular Right in the Rain official notebook. So this WeatherMax thing came from, I believe it's Lowe's or Home Depot, I'll have to find it. What I really like about this, for one, I know it's not a fold-open notebook, but I find it's a lot easier for me if I'm walking around and I need to take notes, or I'm doing something with the kiddo, to have something that really is literally one-handed. But the reason I like this one is because this is an actual hard plastic backing, so I do not have to worry about putting it on something. I can, in fact, flip this open, and I have a solid backing for this. Right in the Rain graph, because we also play a lot of random, just tic-tac-toe, dots, whatever it's going to be. I just love having a notebook like this because it's practical. I have several of these just full of tic-tac-toe and dots and drawings of unicorns and Pokemon that my kids have done because they're bored, they're in the car, whatever it is. The other thing is an extra pen, so I always have a pen on me, whether it's something, let me see here. My favorite carries, this is the Night Eyes Inca pen, super cool pen. Check out my Workday one if you want to see a little more, because it can come apart and become a full-size pen, which is cool. So I usually almost always have that, or maybe I've thrown in my Olight Mini, which is also a lot of fun, and the kids like this one because it, oh, you can focus, come on. The kids like this one because it is this bolt action, so it's a little bit of a fidget, which is pretty neat. Or even this guy, which is just literally a little $1 pen. Rather, it's not even $1. I got this in a pack of 12 at the dollar store. I'm going to pause this to get my video to get my camera to focus. Hold on one second. Cool. So, writing utensils and things to write with, and a flashlight because flashlights are fun. And then the toys. So this thing is not the regular thing, but the dollar store is my easy go-to if I'm going to be taking a road trip, or if we're going to be, say, camping, if we're even sometimes just going to be hiking, or we're going to be spending any time somewhere where the kids might get restless, I stop at the dollar store and pick up a thing. This one's kind of cool. Let's pop this open. My son is crazy into dinosaurs, like most kids his age. Because I'm going to have this open anyways. I'm not going to hand it to him all sealed up. He'll never be able to play with it. Let's see here. Oh, this is sad. There we go. So, something like this. It's a little tin. It's got some markers, got some coloring, some stickers, a couple little things. I also, I have a Switch. The kids can play with my phone. I don't like always just handing my kids electronics, and something like this it's physical, it's something that they can put their hands on and fidget with, which is a lot of fun. So little kits and activity booklets or packs are always a lot of fun, and honestly go a long way with my kids who like to not just stare at something but have something to do. So in the same vein are essentially fidget and hands-on things. These, it's funny, I found it was like a stack of these toys at, I think, a flea market. It was a couple bucks for a whole bunch of them, and I picked them up just because it is the easiest thing to hand one of these, and if it breaks, you don't care, and kids love just playing with it, and it keeps them occupied, and it takes up no space. These are cheap plastic and cardboard. Sometimes they have metal backing. It might be a little tougher to find something like this, but really what I'm just showing off is, things to keep my kids in particular entertained, and honestly, stuff that I've played with some too. This is actually a little paracord fidget toy that I made myself. I was starting to just teach myself knotting, so just something to play with for myself or the kids. This guy is a little container it's a set of tiny little dice, which is fun too, because if you have a dice, even just this little D6 here, you can play a million games with dice. Personally, the reason I have a set like this with 20 side, 10 side, 12 side is because I also play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and honestly, as nerdy as this sounds, you never know when you're going to need to roll some dice. So this not only keeps the kids entertained, but this one's a big one for me personally too. Last two items here are probably two of my favorite fidget or game things that I carry. This guy here is an air deck, and you could get these on Amazon. They're maybe $8. They come in a ton of different styles. It's a deck of cards. They're this plastic, they're bend resistant, tear resistant, waterproof, and they're super easy to handle. They feel good. They take up barely any space, obviously, compared to a regular deck of cards. And there have been plenty of days where I just carried this in my pocket because I knew that I was going to be somewhere that would need to keep the kids busy and entertained. Yeah, these are actually really cool air deck. I 100% recommend an air deck. Even if, say, you want to have something in your car, if you want to keep something in your pack or whatever, pick one of these up. They're pretty cool. The last thing here, this is actually by... for fear of what it's going to do with the focus, if it'll do it. Well, this is by Pop Socket. The same guys that actually do the pop sockets on the back of cell phones have come out with this fidget toy. It's this silicone band. It's got magnets on the back to keep it together, so I don't know that I would hang it from my keychain. I don't know how secure that is. But the point of this is it's not really a toy per se, as much as just a fidget thing. It comes with these two, they call them pucks, magnetic pucks, that seat on this magnetic board. So the point is, well, it's an anxiety toy, it's a fidget thing. If you get really good, I've seen a lot of really neat videos where they're literally flipping them and catching them. You can do a lot of neat stuff with it. The band itself down here is magnetized too, so you have another way to grab these things. I didn't think when I saw this, I honestly ordered it because I thought, this is kind of cheesy. I don't know how effective it's going to be. I also don't like carrying around too much stuff that's magnetized. Simply, especially on a keychain, magnets to me are not trustworthy because a lot of times I rip off and lose stuff with magnets on it just because I can be rough with stuff. And I don't know that I want to carry heavy-duty magnets in my bag where I also sometimes have, say, USB drives or hard drives and other things that may be a little more sensitive, or my phone, whatever it might be. But I have really fallen in love with this thing. My kids like it, but honestly, I carry it for me. It goes in my bag, goes with me to work, and it sits at my desk, and I play with it all day in my offhand. Cool thing too, if you can find them for the holiday season, they're a little tougher to find right now, but you could get literally booster packs for these pucks that have different designs and colors. The bands come in a bunch of different colors too. So yeah, Pop Socket, I don't use them on my own phone, but this thing is cool enough that I'm going to get a bunch of boosters just to screw with them. So yeah, that would be the main kind of toys or gadgets or fidget things that I rely on. when I'm out with the kids. So let's do some final thoughts here. Okay, some final thoughts. Like I said, I had a few comments about a lot of this stuff on my videos where, hey, cool gear, but it's not really about the kids. It's more a guy who carries practical stuff that also happens to have kids. And, well, you're not wrong. I mean, I carry a med kit. What if the kid cuts a hand open? I always have a multi-tool on me because what if I need to fix something or do something? Most of what I carry is for utilitarian purposes and practical purposes. But if you are carrying for your kids, you have to carry more than just things that take care of a situation. For me personally, I need to carry stuff that's going to, well, help them get by too. So some of this stuff is always with me, and it's not just, things to keep them busy. It's things to take care of them: hair tie, hand sanitizer, lip balm, that sort of thing. But even when we take away the more practical stuff, straw is just, again, useful to have. When I have things that can keep them busy, keep them happy, and keep two different children entertained, that is always my main goal for caring for them. Like I said, since I usually travel with two, I usually need a couple different styles of stuff to entertain two different kids, or I need something that they can do together. Something like this they can both play with or interact with each other, or I can color with them and look at something and draw something. Cards are the same way that multiple people can do that. The Write in the Rain notebook is practical because it's weather resistant and kid resistant for all the spills that we always deal with. But I have these filled with drawings for my kids and games of tic-tac-toe. Just all these different styles of things that I carry. It comes down to being able to engage the kids, because I don't, and I said it earlier, I don't like just handing the kids my phone to keep them busy. It doesn't always keep them thinking, and it kills the battery, which isn't great, but it's not the same as actually engaging too if I want to actually engage with them. So my personal always carries, obviously, the practical stuff: the wipes, the hand sanitizer, flashlight, pen, but pick up a pack of these Air Deck playing cards. Absolutely awesome at only 3.5 inches. Pick up this pop socket guy. It's a lot of fun. You'll spend more time chasing the pucks than you will probably doing cool tricks, or if someone out there gets more talented than me. I just really like this thing a lot. It's a lot of fun to fidget with. Dice, I always have them because, again, they're great with kids, and because I never know when I'm going to honestly play some tabletop games. So yeah, a bunch of crap I carry to keep my kids entertained and keep myself entertained. I hope that some of this has been practical. I hope that it's a little enlightening, and I hope I kind of clear my own name for being an easy dad carry guy that hasn't shown off what I carry for the kiddos. So thank you, as always, for spending your time with me. Stay safe, be prepared, and have a great day.